Mother, man.
Hey, this is Kris from Warfect. You're listening to Murder Metal Mayhem.
Spreading faster than a case of the clap in a trailer court. Able to shatter eardrums within a 666-mile radius. A podcast more brutal than all the rest. It's Murder Metal Mayhem! This is Pete Altieri with Murder Metal Mayhem, and I have the privilege to be doing this interview with Kris Wallstrom, bassist of the Swedish thrash metal band Warfect. Thanks for taking the time out to talk to me today, Kris. How are things going with you in Sweden these days?
Hello, thank you very much for having me. Well, it's pretty much like everyone else. So we have this pandemic situation going on here. And we thought we saw the end of it, but it's starting to stir again. I don't know, but it's okay here in Sweden.
Good.
It is. So it's.
Well, you guys got to practice today. You said for the first time in a while. How did that feel?
Yeah. It actually didn't happen.
Oh, it's going to happen. Okay.
It's going to happen. So yeah. But it's pretty good in Sweden anyways. But yeah, we are seeing a little more restrictions now again.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Like you said, though, kind of like that everywhere, even here in the U.S. So
yeah.
Now it's been over a year since your last album, Spectre of Devastation, came out. How did the metal community seem to dig that? Fans and just the media, did you guys get good, favorable reviews from that?
Yeah, I think we got great reviews, and I really felt people liked the album. It was unfortunate the album release was during the COVID pandemic, but
right.
What can you do? We had recorded the album, and we couldn't wait for the pandemic to go over. So we needed to release the album, and the label wanted to release the album as well. So we had to release it. But anyways, I think we got great reviews, and people seem to like it.
Yeah.
And really grateful, of course. So yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love the video you did for Left to Rot. I've shared that a couple times on my personal Facebook page, and a lot of my metalhead friends are like, hell yeah, thanks for turning me on to Warfect. So that's awesome. The video really turned out good.
Yeah, I think so too. So videos are super important nowadays. When we play live, people seem to know the songs we have videos for. So it's very important with videos, and it's important to play the songs live that you have videos for, because
right.
They want to hear them.
Yeah, Drone Wars is another good one. I like that video.
Yeah,
too.
it's an older video, but
it's good.
It's still going strong. Yeah, and we play it every show. So
That's
it's
awesome.
a good. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. I think the album's amazing. As I told you, I wished I would have learned to you guys sooner, but I'm glad I'm involved with you guys now. Now, you mentioned a label. What is the label that you're on, and how long have you guys been with them?
So we're on Napalm Records, and we were actually unsigned when recording the album. We did the recording, and we finished the whole album with the cover art, everything. And we sent it to a few labels, and Napalm Records called, and we decided to settle on them. So we've been with Napalm Records since the release of the album.
That's fantastic. And anybody listening that's U.S., I was able to get one of their shirts from the label. They have a North American office.
Yeah.
And I got it sent to me like super quick, very reasonably priced. So if you're listening and you want to support these guys and you're in the United States, check that out, because that's a good way to buy the stuff a little cheaper. And of course, it doesn't take quite as long trying to get here from Europe. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, the label seems like a good label. Checking out some of the other bands, and so that's cool. That's
Yeah, absolutely. And they've become like quite the thrash metal label nowadays. So
yes,
there's a lot of thrash metal bands, both new and the old ones as well. So yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. Now, speaking of thrash, that's my metal of choice. I like several genres or subgenres in metal, but thrash is always my number one. I hear a lot of influences when I hear you guys. I hear a little bit of Sodom, mostly with the vocals. Creator, I hear a little bit of. I hear a little bit of the U.S. stuff. What are some of the bands that would have been in the early influences of Warfect when you guys were starting out?
So obviously we'll listen to the Teutonic thrash metal bands like Destruction, Sodom, Creator,
Right.
as well as the US thrash metal scene, Exodus, Slayer. But also we're very inspired by Brazilian thrash metal bands like Sepultura.
Right.
They're a huge inspiration to us. And we also have our roots in black metal, me and Frederick. So a lot of inspiration is taken from the black metal
Okay.
from the early 90s when we grew up.
Okay.
Like Dissection.
Right.
We listened to Dark Funeral and a lot of black metal bands, Swedish, Norwegian, mostly. But they inspired us as well, writing this music we write nowadays. So it's a little bit of a mix, like
Yeah,
a fresh metal,
I can
speed
hear
metal,
it. I
black
can
metal,
hear.
death metal.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, you guys own it. I mean, it's your sound, but I can hear little glimpses of things when I listen to you. So that's really cool. I always like to ask bands that because sometimes I'm totally off base, and then other times they're like, "Yeah, you're dead on with what we dig," you know. So, been listening to some Australian thrash bands like In Malice's Wake, Harlot. You know, there's some really good thrash metal in Australia. I would have never thought of them as being a hotbed of that, but there's some good stuff there worth checking out.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a bass player as well. I really dig your tone. What made you decide to play bass?
Well, actually, I was a guitar player.
There's
Not
a
like
lot
many,
of them like that.
like many bass players.
Right?
So I was playing guitar, but back in the day, Fredrik was calling and he asked if I wanted to play bass for a band. He didn't play in, but he knew the guys,
Oh,
and
okay.
he pitched me, and I said, "Well, yeah, why not?" So I started to play bass with them. So it was like an underground kind of. I wouldn't say black metal band, but it was called Bestial Mockery. So it's kind of an unholy underground band. But I started playing bass, and I thought it was good. I still played the guitar, but it was good playing bass. And then Freddie called again and asked if I wanted to join another band playing bass that he was playing in it. And it was kind of the foundation that several years later led to the formation of Warfect. I
Oh,
would say.
cool. Cool.
So me and Fredrik have been playing together for quite some time.
That's awesome. Yeah, I had a friend of mine that was a guitar player that was trying to form a band. And he said, "Man, I cannot find a bass player." He goes, "If there could be somebody that would just buy a damn bass and an amp, I could teach him how to play it. He could pretty much pick any band he wanted to be in." And I thought, I had a little bit of money from a paper route I had. So I went and bought a cheap Fender copy and a little 25-watt amp and learned how to play bass like super fast. So, and I've been playing ever since. And that was I'm dating myself here, 1984. So
Yeah.
I was playing right in the middle of all the, new metal coming out. The underground scene was like blowing up, and it was just a great time to be into metal. And so that's what got me started playing bass, listening to Geezer Butler and Steve Harris and and some of those bass players just unbelievable. But I really dig your tone, man. It's really sweet.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it sounds nice and thick. I think in one of your videos you were playing a Jackson bass. Is that what you use, or at least one of your basses?
Well, actually, I have a Jackson bass, but I don't play it very much. So
okay, I see
not,
Fenders on the wall back there. It looks like a Fender.
Well, actually, it's not a Fender, but it's a Lakeland.
Oh, nice.
Yes, it's a custom Lakeland. So I've been using Lakeland for a few months now, and I'm super satisfied.
I think Geezer Butler plays a Lakeland, if I'm not mistaken.
That's actually how I found the brand.
Hard to argue with the tone of tones. I mean, there is no other metal bass player that can ever do that. I mean, he is amazing. Yeah, all-time idol, Geezer Butler.
Yeah, he's amazing. And I noticed he was using this bass. And I wanted to put my own touch on it, so I decided to go with a custom one.
Nice.
But I based it pretty much on the Geezer Butler Lakeland bass.
Awesome.
But I'm super satisfied with the Lakeland basses. But I did use Jackson for a while. Many years back, and I still have the Jackson bass, and I use it in the videos, especially in the videos where we're outside or in environments where I don't want to use my custom basses.
I don't blame you. I don't
so
blame
then I
you.
use Jackson bass, but I don't play it live, and I don't record with it.
Gotcha.
No, but I still have it.
What kind of rig do you play through then?
So I've been using Harky for quite some time now, and I'm very happy with the Harky sound. We're a three-piece, and I want I want the bass to pop. I want to be noticed. I need some kind of I like attack. I like this sound of string, the steely sound. So I'm using like strings that are super bright.
Yeah, I could tell. What kind of electronics are in that Lakeland? Are they active or passive?
No, actually, they are passive.
Okay.
So I have in the other basses I have I have active electronics, but in this one I felt I would like to try the passive approach, because I've tried it before in Fender basses and several other basses, but I didn't own any bass with passive electronics, so I wanted to try it, and it works super nice.
That's awesome.
Nice, but the other basses are active actually. But
cool.
I use the super bright strings, steel strings, and the Harky amps with the aluminum cone, just to get the punch, the super string steel sound, just to break through, pop out with the guitar.
No, that's cool. My Spectre bass has 2 batteries in it. I'd never seen that before.
2 batteries
for the active electronics EMGs, but they're on fire and playing real bright strings. Like you, I really like that kind of sound. Yeah. Maybe that's why I picked it out when I heard you guys. I really liked it.
Yeah.
That's cool. Very, very cool. Now, how difficult is it? You mentioned that you guys are a 3-piece, which I always love 3-pieces because it's so much more of a challenge. But how is that doing the live stuff? Because he's doing solos and you're holding the fort down. So how does that go live? You guys are able to pull it off?
I think we are. I wouldn't say difficult, but it's maybe more challenging. First off, you can't hide behind the guitars as a bass player.
Right. Yeah.
And also the upside is that you're able to embrace the stage more, because it's more spacious, obviously.
Sure. That's a good point.
But you can do more things than I imagine you could do.
Yeah. I went from 2 guitars to 1, and I noticed as a 3-piece, I was able to do more, like you just said, because I didn't have to worry about clashing with the other guitar player in the rhythms while
No,
the solos were going on. So
yeah,
during a solo, you've got a lot more liberty to do some cool stuff because you don't have to worry about a rhythm guitar player and you having to jive together. So it's got its ups and its downs.
yeah, absolutely. It's both positive and maybe negative. Some people think we should add another guitar, to get the fatter sound, so to speak. But
Right.
I don't. So, but I have a plan to be more like a guitar player in certain pieces of the music, like when Fredrik is doing guitar solos and other rhythmic stuff. I could like do chords and maybe add distortion pedal and
Sure.
some other stuff. So I'm working on it just to make it more whole or complete, so to speak. So yeah.
Right. Have you tried any of the dark glass pedals? I've got one of those, and it really fattens up the sound big time.
Yeah. I haven't tried a dark glass pedal, but I really dig the sound, and I
Yeah.
dig it so much. I thought I'd buy one because it has the tone I want. When you want the bass to pop out, that's a dark glass sound for me.
Yeah.
So I started to look around for pedals, and actually I was going to order the one of the dark glass pedals, but it was out of stock, and I really needed to order a pedal for some reason I can't recall. So I started to look around again, and I ended up buying a Sansamp pedal that could pretty much do the dark gloss sound.
Oh,
And
cool. Okay.
I'm really happy with it. So I'm using Sansamp now.
Okay.
And I can get kind of the dark gloss sound with the
Right.
Sansamp pedal.
Yeah, I interviewed Angelus Apatrida, and their bass player just started using dark glass in this last recording they did, and he was talking to his brother was the one I interviewed. He was saying how much that he liked it, and I said, yeah. I mean, I've been really about that too. So that's cool. It sounds like we're both very similar in things that we like. Now, you mentioned the COVID situation over there. Is there any? I mean, a lot of bands are setting up tours and unfortunately having to cancel them. Are you guys doing any booking for next year? Or are you kind of holding off to see how things change or what happens?
No, we want to book as much as we can. So we have a deal with an agency, so we can't book ourselves.
Oh, okay.
So we're booked through Napalm Events. So it's the booking agency run by Napalm Records, and that's great. But we would like to accept all the offers we can get. So if they throw something at us, we try to accept it because we want to go out there and play, and we haven't played in support of the album, and that's I think that's a really bad thing. But again, this is something that happens to all the bands that released albums during the pandemic.
Right.
But it's not very good because you need to tour in support of the album, because you need to get out there to get noticed, especially for us because we're a fairly unknown band to the metal community so far. So we need to go to tag along with another band, like a bigger band, just to get out there and play in front of people that has never heard of us.
Right.
And we have not been able to do that with this album, but we will be able to do it, of course, the next year, because we have booked. First, we're going to do a festival in Sweden, and then we're going to tour with Nervosa and Burning Witches.
Oh, nice.
In the spring. So that's going to be really, really nice.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. It's very, very important to us.
Right.
So, and also it's going to be super fun to get out there again.
Oh, hell yeah. Of course, of course. Now, there's been a lot of metal albums that have come out this year. Are there any that really stand out to you as a metal fan, Kris? Any that you really dig?
Well, actually, no. I would like to say yes, but then I think I've missed it. So I don't know. I think 2020 was a better year in regards to metal releases, but I haven't heard all of them, of course. But I couldn't mention one.
What about the new Exodus? Have you heard that yet?
Well, I've heard it. It's well, it's okay, but being a band like Exodus, you have a super high expectation of such a band.
Right.
So they've released so many great albums. It's really hard to top that.
Right.
I would rather put on like Temple of the Damned than the new album.
Really, I like the new one, but yeah, I love Temple of the Damned too. I love all Exodus stuff.
It's not bad, but
right. Doesn't stand out to you as the way the other ones maybe did.
No, unfortunately not.
Yeah, well, that's all right. Well, like you said, there was some really great releases in 2020. We're doing a countdown of our favorites in 2021, and I was just kind of curious if there were any that you liked out of the bunch. Now, what are some bands that you listen to, maybe some underground or local type bands that our listeners might not know about? I've learned about so many great bands by asking this question. I'm just curious if there's any bands you have that, maybe we don't know about.
Yeah. So we do have a Swedish thrash metal band that we're really into. They're super good. It's a great thrash metal band called FKU, Freddy Krueger's Underwear. So I don't know how famous they are, but they're more famous than us. I'm sure of that. But
okay.
But a lot of people haven't heard about them and should really check them out. Their latest release is absolutely stellar. It's
wow.
super thrash.
FKU, you said?
Yeah, Freddy Krueger's Underwear. FKU, yeah. Check them out because they're good. Also, I've been listening to a band called Schizophrenia. They have an EP that is really good, and I think they're about to release an album as well. So,
cool.
They're worth checking out if you're into thrash metal, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I always ask that question. I get some great ones for sure. Now, what's the scene like in Sweden for metal, more specifically thrash, but in general, what kind of, bands typically going on right now? Of course, with COVID, things have changed, but outside of COVID, what would you say the scene's like over there for metal?
So the metal scene in Sweden is great, I think. It's been really strong since the 90s. Like in the early 90s, mid 90s, a lot of bands started to emerge, I think, and went pretty big, like In Flames, The Haunted, At the Gates,
right,
Entombed, Dissection, Dark Funeral, Marduk. A lot of bands, death metal, black metal, and also like thrash metal, but the thrash metal scene in Sweden is not huge. It's not huge. We have a few thrash metal bands like FKU, for example, and another band called Antichrist, and obviously several more bands. But we're a lot bigger on the other subgenres of metal. I think, like the Haunted, Arch Enemy. In Flames, right. those kind of bands. We have a lot of those kind of bands that are huge. Right. So the metal in Sweden is great. It's big, and you know a lot of people that play metal in Sweden, and it's I think it's still going strong.
That's awesome. That's great. That's fantastic to hear. What about new material for you guys? I mean, I know you have an album out. It's been out for over a year now, and I'm sure you guys are probably working on some new things, but any plans for what's going on next for you guys?
So yeah, we're looking at some new stuff. We're writing and we're rehearsing some new stuff. But as far as releasing new stuff, it will be a while because of the pandemic situation and not being able to tour in support of the Spectre of Devastation album. So we probably won't release another album for the next album for another 2 years, I think.
Right.
So we need to market this album properly before going on to the next one, because you could obviously release like 5 albums straight out material.
Right.
That won't be a smart thing to do, because people will
forget about the other ones.
No, they will miss out on the albums and the songs. So, yeah.
No, that makes sense. What about podcasts? Are there any podcasts that you listen to, whether it be metal or anything else like that?
Well, actually, I don't listen to very many podcasts, unfortunately. I would like to do, but currently my time is super limited. But I do listen to some podcasts because I'm writing the lyrics, and I'm writing. I'm listening to podcasts and other stuff, to get inspiration.
Sure. Now you got Murder Metal Mayhem to listen to now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We're going to feature you guys in a week where we're doing the guy from Russia that dug up little girls out of the cemetery and made human dolls out of them in his apartment. So there's some there's some inspiration for you to write about the Russian doll man, Anatoly. Oh, I'm blanking on his last name, but I just posted it on Facebook and tagged you guys in it. But unbelievably grotesque story of a guy who really wanted a daughter of his own, and they wouldn't let him adopt, and so he decided to make his own out of what he got out of the cemetery. So
that's
it's pretty gruesome.
Really, yeah, it's gruesome, and it's the stuff I do write about. And so there
you go. There's a song right there.
I'm going to listen to it. Yeah.
Anything else you want to put out, Kris? Anything you want to mention about any projects? Anything at all that we haven't talked about?
No, I being playing in a fairly unknown band to the metal community, I would hope people would give us a listen, just to see if it's something they like. Because if you're into thrash metal, you might like our stuff, I think.
I think they will. I'm going to actually play them a song, Kris, so they are going to be forced to listen to some Warfect. I really love the song. We mentioned it earlier with the video Left to Rot. Anything about that song, about the lyrics or anything about it you want to mention? What's it about?
Oh, so Left to Rot is actually also about Russia.
Oh.
So it's about a huge railway construction project they took on, building a super long railway, and a lot of people died.
Oh, boy.
And it was like a labor camp style going there.
Right.
It was very. It's very interesting, but so it actually did happen, and a lot of stuff, almost all the stuff I write about, has happened in the past. So I tend to use a lot of history.
That's good. That's good
stuff. Yeah.
Well, I want to say thank you for coming on the show and doing this. We'll leave them with Left to Rot so they could check out Warfect. If you're listening to this on Murder Metal Mayhem, I'll link to these guys in the episode description, so you can go to their pages and order their merch. And right now we need to support the underground bands. I went and bought a Warfect shirt, and so can you, or a CD or anything you can. Thank you, Kris, and good luck to Frederick and the rest of you guys, and horns high from the U.S., man.
Thank you very much. Thank you.